Good morning. I'm going to give you a quick update on what's happening inside China Mobile, as well as our grand initiatives on the convergent communication services. So in 2013 December, we started deploy our LTE network, and we saw the rapid expansion in the past 2 years. We had about 940 base stations last quarter, and we are going to reach 1 million base stations by end of this year. And the current population coverage is 1 billion, and we'll hopefully cover the 100% area of China. We also accelerate our 2G, 4G customers migration to our 4G. So in the first half of this year, we had about 100 million new subscribers, and we sold 140 million 4G devices. So right now, still we are less than a quarter of our total subscriber numbers. So we consider it still at an early stage. On the revenue side, it's actually very challenging. We already saw the voice revenue is declining, and actually in the first half we saw the mobile data revenue actually surpassed the voice revenue the first time. And as you see, the mobile data revenue already reached a certain point, and we saw it's actually coming to a ceiling very soon. The reason is the affordability of the consumer is certain, and the government already mandated some initiatives called speeding up and pricing down. So as you see, we actually reduced our data price a few times in the first half of this year. So the next thing is we saw the digital services is actually full promise, and especially with government initiatives of internet price plan for the next 5 years. So we saw there's a tremendous opportunities in this area. However, to compete with the OTT companies in the digital services area is very challenging. So we realized that we have to take back some of the ownership of a product development, as well as some core technologies, master some core technologies in order to compete. So in the earlier, later last year, we had one initiative. We set up 2 new R&D centers, one in Hangzhou, which focus on the new services. Another one is in Suzhou, which focus on the cloud infrastructure and big data. With that, we actually also launched a few key projects, which include the RCS projects, NovNet, which is actually regarded to NFE and SDN, and we have open platform and core API project, and we have big data project. In addition to that, we also further separated our business units into individual companies. For example, if you see the device company for managing the device distribution, which happens actually almost 4 years. The Migu company is just started, which focus on content distribution and content business, and we have all other companies. So as a Silicon Valley Frontier team, we actually work with all of them. We not only participate in these key projects, provide the strategic consulting advices, and sometimes actually architect consulting. We also work with Silicon Valley companies and look for the new technologies and products that can fuel our growth. So let's move on to that's a snapshot. Let's move on to our convergent communication services. Globally, the communication systems didn't fare very well, and actually, our CEO actually started in summer 2013. We published the VoLTE white paper and announced our commitment to the Convergence communication services. And subsequently, last year in 2014, Mobile World Congress, we also published we call RCS white paper, which is next generation convergent communication services. And earlier this year at the Mobile, in conjunction with Mobile World Congress at GTI Summit, we announced we have network partners and chipset partners and OEM partners to commit to the native convergent communication devices. So our our vision including 3 parts. The first is new messaging, which is based on VoLTE. The second is first is a new call based on VoLTE. The second is IP messaging based on the RCS standards. And the third one is we call the new contact, which is a real name social services. Why I was going to dive a little bit, I want to emphasize those services are actually backward compatible, and those are standard based, and we also emphasize the feature rich and easier user experience. This is our VoLTE. So the VoLTE is actually characterized by low latency and carrier grade and high definition voice, and now also including high definition video. In the summer we completed a 5 cities trial in China, and we already reached the commercial requirements for the VoLTE. By end of this year, we would reach 109 cities in China and at launch, and we will have about. So right now we have about 3 VoLTE capable devices on the market, which including the one shown here is a CMCC branded N1 device. We also we're going to have about at least 15 devices by the end of this year. And one of the enhanced feature on VoLTE is we call it enhanced call string, which can deliver the rich information to the user about the caller. The next one is new messaging. It is based on RCS 5.0. As you see, the RCS standard is actually not enough, and the user demands more features. Just yesterday, I heard from GMIC conference that how important the emoji is. Even worldwide, people like emojis. And this is also true for the public accounts, which we call the official account services. You can think about it in China, a lot of users, the mobile phone is their only device. It's hardly to think they can actually go to a website to find the information about company. And the official accounts is given a very convenient way for them to discover what's happening with the company, and give us a channel to deliver the content. Some people even using the official accounts to watch videos, so watch TV videos. Those are just examples. And how many of you have heard of phishing? Nobody, only one. So phishing is actually an OTT communication service we launched in 2007. It's far older than WeChat. Unfortunately, we made a strategic choice to keep it a closed system, and also didn't emphasize its innovation. So in the new RCS system, we'll bridge phishing with our native client. And for those clients who don't have the ability to have a native client, we also bring in the apps. So with all of them, we will make sure the features are compatible and connected, and it's also connected to the global, carriers. So this is about our new contacts, and mobile is fundamentally social. So I think we want to emphasize the social concept in our new contact. So we add circles, we add a storefront, and underlying we will provide the authentication services. We'll provide the real name, real business, like authentic content. We'll do the spam filtering. We'll offer the public services for the users. In this perspective, we will open a lot of APIs for you to integrate. And this is actually the highlights of what we consider our convergent communication services. In fact, I think Silicon Valley is a magic place. Like in the past 15 years, I witnessed every 5 to 10 years, there's always something new, surprise all of us. And we believe there's the communication services innovation will continue. And that's one of the reasons we insist we are going to build our own competency in this area. And there's nothing wrong, to be backward compatible. There's nothing wrong with standard based. But it is a mistake if you move too slow. And if it's a mistake, you ignore the latest trend in the consumer demand. So that's why we open up our own R&D centers, focus on development, new features, and focus on embracing the latest technologies. And we also open up our systems to embrace the new innovations in this area. And we welcome everybody to join to innovate in the upcoming platform. And of course, innovation doesn't stop on the communication services. We have a lot more to innovate. So this is just a list. And if you're interested to talk with China Mobile, this is our contact. Thank you. Yeah. Get back to John.
So first, thank you for your remarks. I appreciated something candid you said, which was pressure to do more, be faster for less. And I think that's a sentiment any mobile carrier can understand, and any mobile carrier feels pressure to do. There was just an example in Japan last week where Prime Minister Abe lowered the market cap of all three carriers by tens of billions of dollars with an offhand comment. So yeah, it's a very common sentiment. You said something about taking back product ownership, which I think is another sentiment that any carrier can understand and can feel. Yeah. If you're a consumer of your converged service, what sort of stands out versus some of the more, so the OTC services that China is so known for? Is there differentiated feature experiences? Some of the things you described in your slides, for example, seem to stand out.
So if you look at the current WeChat, which is the predominant platform for social, first off, it's actually pretty complicated for the average users, especially those users just having a smartphone. And we want to build those very easy to use interface, and we focus on the common features that everybody is using. And also we also focus on more like a spam filtering. Just a lot of things there, the spams and rumors, and we just want to make sure it's actually more clean and more authentic social environment.
Yeah. So more secure, more safe, for example. Yeah. So is that, in a way, it sounds like you're marketing to parents a little bit, who might be the ones who are paying for phones.
Yeah.
So. We're actually running down on time. I want to make sure anyone in the audience who has questions asks them. Otherwise, I can certainly keep going. But hearing none, I will ask one more, which is, you described kind of a consumer-facing application of RCS. I'm sure there are enterprise applications that you're getting interest in. So I was wondering if you could share some of those.
Yeah, so we, for the enterprise, there are actually a lot of verticals. I'm not going to touch on IoT. It's going to take a more time. But I think in the communication side, we want to actually enable a lot of connections with those consumer communication. We are actually right now investing in Web RTC as an extension to our current communication infrastructure. We are also investing in some of the APIs that can enable the enterprise to innovate.
Yes,
So,
there's a question in the back. Can you announce yourself as well?
Sure, Daniel. Brent Newsom with NewNet. We're actually an RCS provider, application server provider out demoing here. Our question, or my question would be, how do you view the availability of native devices, and how standard are they going to be? Clearly, China Mobile, with 750 million users, has the opportunity to drive the standard with the device manufacturers. Are you strictly following the RCS 5.3 standards? Or are we going to see a China version?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. So first of all, as you see in the RCS, in the Convergence RCS slides, we actually have 3 ways to engage with users. So for the users who actually bought a native client, we will actually work with a lot of OEMs on the native client. So they have the very standard-based features. And we also provide apps for users to download, including iOS apps. So basically, if Apple didn't support RCS, but we will have them able to communicate with their peers. And we also have the legacy service called phishing, and the phishing is actually also part of the federation we are going to bring in. So basically, all the phishing users are able to merge, and eventually they can convert to the app, but they can choose not to stay with phishing, and they can still communicate with the current ecosystem. And from the outside carriers, still based IP, OMA-based IP messaging. So we are going to federate those services.
So, very good answer to that question. Any further questions from the audience? If not, Daniel is here. His contact information is also there. So if you're interested in speaking with Daniel or China Mobile, please come find him. So Daniel, thank you very much.
Thank you.